Hey, if you have a foam roller and you don't know what to do with it, and you have been sitting around thinking, I need to start foam rolling, join me, because I'm just getting back into exercising. I just went for a 20-minute walk. My hips, my legs, my hamstrings, my quads are tight as you wouldn't believe, and I know that the only way to loosen myself back up is to get on the foam roller. So if you want to sit and do it with me, I'll show you my pattern of foam rolling. The first part of it is crossing the knee over. If you cannot cross your knee over, then you will want to just lean onto your hip. So the reason I'm doing it with you is because I'm just going to go through my whole pattern and the length of time that it takes to get at least a little somewhere with the foam rolling. A lot of people know what parts of their body to do, but they spend like 2 seconds and they're on to the next thing, and we can't do that because you want to make it a little bit of effect on your body. I've been foam rolling for 20 years, and maybe a little less than 20 years, but around 20 years. And it's been like my best friend. I have a small one I'll take on a trip with me. You know, I had this neck fusion 2 months ago, and the doctor told me the first thing I could do was walk, because you get your, body circulating, your blood circulating. So now I've uncrossed my legs, and I'm just going back and forth. Now, if you've got really bad shoulders, this might not work for you. You might have to find an alternative way, but I'm just doing it for those of us who can actually put a little weight on your shoulder. But anyway, the doctor said, oh, you need to walk. So now I'm going to go onto my IT band, which is the side of my thigh. Some people need to put their foot over so that they can offset some of their weight, but I can just put all my weight right on that leg. And I will say to you, it's probably not that comfortable. Probably not that comfortable. I'm going to change my directions. Keep rolling. I'm changing my direction because if I'm honest, I don't know how to use my big, nice camera and my whole setup so you won't have a vertical video. One of these days I'm going to fix that. But right now I'm still rolling on the side of my thigh, not onto my knee, but right above my knee, like the meat of the side of your thigh, your quadricep. Sometimes it is kind of painful right now. So you get onto that really tight spot. And again, you can still have the other foot down to offset weight. You can take breaks if you're sweating and you're feeling like, oh my God, this is just too much. Take a break. Now I'm going to go onto the front of my thigh. Same thing, you can put both thighs on there. A lot of people just like to roll 2 legs at a time, but I don't feel enough pressure. So I like to go ahead and pick one of those thighs up and just dig in all the way to the top where you have that fold, the top where your hip flexor meets your quad. I like to get right into there, and then I'll go right on the front of my quad again, right into the belly. And then find a tight spot. See how I'm a little out of breath because it gets your heart rate up. And then I'll give myself a little bit of a break. Sometimes I'll do an inner thigh. So we'll just do a quick inner thigh where you want to put the roller, you want to have the edge of the roller because the other leg is out of the equation. So you're just kind of trying to get the inner part of your thigh. And I'll tell you what, mine is really tight. Once again, inner thigh, really tight. I'll give you another view. I'm just basically putting my leg, putting the roller in between my legs and just rolling out the inner thigh. This is good sometimes if your knees are bothering you to roll on the inner part of your thigh. So staying on the same leg, now I'll get onto the hamstring. And again, I see a lot of people, sorry I keep adjusting my pants, they're a little tight gained a little weight around the waist, recovering from surgery and not doing any real weightlifting, because I think weightlifting helps to tone your midsection. So a lot of people will roll both legs, and I don't think that's really all that effective unless your hamstrings are like so tight, and this is the first time you've ever done this. I've had my clients doing it, but if I don't coach them, sometimes I feel like they don't do enough of it. So I cross my leg over and get one hamstring at a time, all that weight, warming up your triceps and using your arms. So from the side, keep going. Your butt's off the ground. So you're kind of just rocking back and forth. And what I like to do is turn my body slightly sideways so I'll get the outer hamstring close to the back of my knee. It just feels amazing. And again, you want to find what's tight for you. You can just rock back and forth. Really helps to loosen and lengthen your hamstrings. And this is pre-stretching. So I do this pre-stretching. If you think this is a long time, it's really not. We'll see how long it is when we're done. I'm not timing this. I'm just doing what I would do after a walk or before a weight training workout or anytime I feel particularly tight. So we're on the other side now. So I crossed my leg over. And once again, if you can't cross, you can just make it down straight, but you want to be on the side. You want to be like on the meat of the outside of your glute. So I'm just rolling on that. Sometimes when it's really tight, it hurts. My right side is much tighter than my left side. So this side, I'm like, oh, it's okay. So if you don't feel a lot, that's just is particularly a side that you're not as tight on. And then you're going to want to go, once again, we did the side, the IT band. So like I said, you can cross one foot over and just offset your weight a little bit, but I have a aggravated, I had a torn hamstring many years ago, so crossing my leg over is uncomfortable anyway, so I just got myself into the plan of 2 legs, but being on the one leg, the bottom leg. So I'm rolling the bottom leg. This side, weirdly enough, so my right hip is tight, and my left quad, outer quad IT band is really tight. It's way tighter than the other side. So again, my pelvis is probably slightly out of alignment, which isn't surprising. I have bulging L4, L5 that I've had for probably more than 20 years. And that, I lifted really heavy weights back in the old days, so, and dynamic, a lot of plyometrics. Not really always knowing proper form, so when you don't have exact form, now again, we're still rolling on that outer thigh. Mine's really tight, so I'm gonna put my foot down. It can be over or behind, just offset the weight. And then going more towards the front of the quad. And again, like I go not onto your knee, of course you want to go right above your knee and let the lengthening of the quad happen. But so anyway, bulging L4, L5, I really learned from the spine surgeon that I went to. I wasn't having an operation then. I ended up having to have the neck done later, but he told me that if I kept my hips stretched out, I probably wouldn't feel too much of the, now we're on our hamstring, so now we're on the other leg of the hamstring. And this is tight too, probably from my walk. I'm the worst walker ever. I literally have a terrible gait. When I walk, my left meniscus is torn. I tore my left ACL skiing, and then a few years later, I tore my meniscus and decided not to have it fixed because there was no point at that time. I was 51 years old, 50 years old. The doctor said, now every doctor has a different opinion, so if you've gotten yours fixed at an older point in age, great. So that was my foam rolling. Before I got my neck fused, I would always roll my upper back. And I'm not going to do it because I haven't had my 3-month checkup yet to see. So upper back is usually the last part. Crack the spine. It feels amazing. So if you're doing that, hands behind your head, push your butt up, and you're going to roll back and forth. Just let the roller go through the spine. So I just looked at the time, and it's about 10 minutes. So 10 minutes of foam rolling every single day if you want to stay flexible. So I am 56, going to be 57 this summer. Try it. It's like a miracle. And again, I'm 2 months out of a major surgery, 3 levels. I've got 8 screws in my neck, and I feel darn good. So if you want to start through, check back. I'm going to be working on stretching next.